So you were either picking up pennies in front of the steamroller or you were riding the steammower as it ran over the bears yesterday and today probably. As we have CPI coming out today, I think that one wasn't really much of a surprise to anyone how the momentum kept going most likely. And also, interestingly yesterday, volatility index was halted for volatility. Let that sink in just for a second. We're going to be talking today about what on earth happened to the market, how the levels we went over in the weekend deep dive came in clutch like always, and how the fastest bear market in history just occurred, along with shattering every single record known to man on the index's single day gains. I mean, like S&P was up 10%, NASDAQ 12%, Russell 8.5%, Dow was up like 7.86%. And the question is the party going to keep going? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So, good sir, what do you think about the volatility index getting halted for volatility?
Today was absolutely incredible. Now, I'm normally the one that's saying more, it needs to crash more. However,
Cue the Kylo Ren meme.
However, this right here, what we just saw today, is a perfect example as to how, if you follow this channel, you did very well. And we're not one of those people, guys, at least me personally, I'm not one of those people that says something and then doesn't follow through with it. I show you guys all of my trades. I show you guys my losses, my gains. And guess what? I was saying when the market was crashing on Thursday and Friday, I'm buying. I put $12,000. I put $10,000 into my normal taxable account and $2,000 into my Roth IRA. I was buying. I meant it. And guess what? My portfolio was up to $12,000, all because of the Giga Chad Trump pulling the most beautiful reversal on the planet.
The funny thing is,
hang on. A lot of people are saying that he coped. In what world did he cope? I love it because, okay, basically, he waited until China retaliated. He waited until the EU retaliated and then came out saying, you know what? Countries that were nice to us, countries that didn't retaliate, we are going to put a pause on the tariffs because, we like you guys coming to the table, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the China tariffs... They did though. Meanwhile, the China tariffs remained there while everybody else's tariffs paused. So basically, Donald Trump comes out with this beauty of a Truth Social post, I guess. And what just happened, right? The one before this Truth Social post,
that was funny here, though.
What did he say? It's a great time to buy. It's an absolutely great time to buy. And then 3 hours later, he then pulls that. Donald Trump has pulled the greatest Uno reversal of all time. What did he just do simultaneously? I'm serious. He just pulled simultaneously. He made everybody a ton of money, those who were paying attention. He made everybody a ton of money. And at the same time, he made China be the aggressor.
Hey, you're forgetting the most important thing. You're forgetting the most important thing. He made Jerome Powell sweat bullets. Jerome Powell was in the corner going like just looking at treasury yields, doing 200 basis points down, 200 basis points up. He was like, it's like, what topsy-turvy world am I living in? And the funny thing is, China dumping yields, which was
China dumping those bonds. Last night, last night yields were rising.
And the yield markets, right? They were just like, everyone's like, oh, cool, we got a little bounce in yields. And everyone afterwards was like, who cares? It's like they were like, oh, we'll hold bonds. Well, like everyone was just buying, right? $7 trillion going into the stock market in the matter of 3 days.
No, not 3 days. It was like 3 hours, basically.
Yeah. They bought
most of it was just today.
$2 trillion was the day before, and then I think 5 came in today, yesterday. And that's the thing. That's the money that's being, and it's gonna be funny. Warren Buffett was probably buying, right? Everyone says quoting Warren Buffett selling the S&P. I'm like, the dude probably bought he probably just sent it all. He just basically said send all the cash. And again, we're gonna find out in the filings in the next quarterly report. I don't know if it'll be this one or it'll be the next following report because of how the time frames work out. So I think he can disclose it in this one if he chooses to, and then has to in the next one. But again, Warren Buffett is probably looking at this being like, S&P, let's see, down to the rotationary level, bear market level. No, I shouldn't buy. Hell, this dude was buying, again, following his own advice, right? Following his own advice about the fear and greed index, right? This was at 3. We closed at 3 yesterday. And then today, 17. I'm like...
Here's the thing also. Warren Buffett doesn't have to look at any technical analysis worth about it. Just keep buying. As the market crashes, just keep buying. This is what I was trying to explain to people for all this time. I'm just like, guys, why are you so afraid? No, but what if it goes to zero? I'm like, dude, the stock market, if the stock market falls to zero, it is Armageddon. It is the destruction of the economic collapse of the world.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And again, people are blaming Donald Trump because of all of this. Donald Trump basically just caught China with their pants down. He basically just made them be the bad guys. He basically just said, you guys want to retaliate? Okay, watch this. I'm going to make you the bad guy. Now I'm going to be the nice one in saying, those countries who didn't retaliate, you're my friends.
Your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven.
Not forgiven, just waived for now.
90-day pause on your sins.
Right. So hopefully, anybody watching this, I really do hope you guys did not sell. I really do hope you guys did not sell.
We were screaming it's 1973 all over again, right? Like if you just looked at the velocity that you came down with, I'm like, this is going to turn into most likely a V-shaped recovery. This surpassed COVID. Like this surpassed 2008, .com and COVID, right? Like those times of buying were when the market was doing stupid things, right? The market was literally like I talk about bearish engulfing candles a lot, right? Like so when we were back, just a little brief history lesson, when we were back here and I was like bearish engulfing candles usually mean continuation. Hello, we got the continuation. And then we hit support, right? We came down to literally, we opened at the bear market level. S&P is like, no, I don't like bear markets. No, we're not doing that. No, can't cancel the bear market. Negative. Nope, not happening. You have the chance. So if you told me that we were going to fall an additional 4%, 12 in total, and then engulf it bullish the next week, I would have been looking at you like a crazy person, being like, hey, yeah, and I have some calls to sell you. I mean, I don't think it's ever happened in history.
It has not.
I don't think you've ever, like, you have the possibility to have a 16% engulfing candle in a week.
So here is a conspiracy theory that I kind of just made up. As this progressed. We know, and this is the video that I basically put out yesterday. Mm-hmm. We know that Gen Z and millennials don't have the wealth in relationship to that of like Gen X, and really not in relationship to that of boomers, right?
Yeah.
So what if, maybe I'm giving him way too much credit, maybe I'm looking way too much into this, but what if DJT, he's trying to figure out a way to make Gen Z and Gen Y, the millennials, wealthy, while at the same time not ruining Gen X and the boomers. I have a feeling that we have 4 more years of this. 2.5 basically, right? Or 3.5, right?
When you say of this, you're talking about like the
volatility. Let me finish. Exactly. Let me finish what I was going to say. I would not be surprised, seeing that we have 3.5 years of this left, if Donald Trump, DJT, begins to just say, you know what, I'm going to crash the market on purpose, off of like this whatever, and then the markets will crash, giving the people who are paying attention the opportunity to buy in, and then afterwards be like, fixed, and then everything just goes boop, right back up. That way, Gen Z and millennials get into the market, and at the same time, if boomers just hold, they don't actually sell, boomers just hold, then they also do not lose money. You basically get a win-win scenario in both. That's my speculation. right? That is my speculation. I don't know if I'm looking way too much into it, but based off of what we just saw today, the fact that he specifically said at around like what was it, like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Do not worry, this is a great time to buy. When he said that, I'm like, okay. And then a few hours later, boom,
Yeah.
he just drops the bonds. I'm like,
that was the ultimate, like, so here's the thing, right? Does it become that he takes the power that Jerome Powell had about anything he said, the markets just instantly react to now, if we ever get another movement downwards and you see this tweet come out again, is market's going to interpret it as something's coming and just go ballistic?
or something similar. And that's my point, is that and again, this is my speculation, but he may actually play it that way. And let's also talk about the one thing that's happening today, which already happened by the time you guys see this video: inflation. We have been saying that for the month of, what was it, March, which is the inflation report that we're getting today, or that we got today. This is going to come in significantly lower than expectation. I personally think so.
They revised
To what? 2.5.
Yeah, so are we going to get 2. Are we going to just skip our prediction, go to 2.4? Again,
2.3,
we're going to be streaming,
or even
guys,
2.3
tonight. We're going to be streaming tonight for this, so make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video if you could, so kindly. But yeah, this was 2.6 previously. Expectation now revised to 2.5. Are we going to get just a triple catalyst? Because you already got the first lever, which was Trump. Do you get CPI that reinforces the rally, that then reinforces the JP Morgan, Wells Fargo's earnings on Friday, that reinforces PPI, right? So let's take a look at PPI expectation. Let's just skip CPI for a second. So this actually hasn't gone down from what it was, but where does this number come in, right? This is where, everyone's going to be looking at it.
And how much impact will that number have, right? Because PPI is what mainly tariffs affect. However, if majority of the tariffs are now paused and have the possibility of not occurring, only on the ones that retaliated against the United States, is this really an issue?
Yeah. I don't think you will be, because just looking at the thing that drives inflation, right? Just the number one driver of inflation, which is energy prices. We can see oil just freaking, even though tariffs were a motivator to go back up, right? Because the recessionary fears. I don't know if you saw, Goldman Sachs said, "Oh, we canceled we canceled the recession call." They went from 35 to 65 to recession to no recession.
Wow, absolutely incredible. It just shows that they have no idea what they're doing.
No one saw that coming.
They have no idea what they're doing.
Like how a lot of people conspire that, all the banks knew this was coming. I'm like, no one saw this coming. Just looking at the MES, right? Just to point this out, to drive this point home. We were dropping off volume as we were heading into the 12 o'clock lull of the hour. And then when the news came out, that's when you saw the volume spike. But we can go down to the 1 minute chart so you guys can see this. No one knew early. Literally no one knew. Or when it happened, right? It literally, the tweet gets sent out and rocket ship up, right? This was computers buying. This was computers. We literally did, in a matter of 1 minute, we did 3%.
Wow.
Then kept going. Then the next minute we did 3%. The next minute we did 3%. Right, so slight retracements. But this thing just there was no mercy whatsoever in this rally, and formed the most beautiful W for the win.
Yeah.
Now here's the really tricky part, because every technical person out there was saying, "Oh, we're gonna get a death cross on the S&P and the Nasdaq. We're gonna get a death cross on the S&P and Nasdaq." Let's just go to the NASDAQ real quick. This has the possibility of not happening, because all you have to do, these lines are just going to go like this if we get back up to these prices. And the Russell, right, even though it already had a dead cross, this thing is already trying to get back out of bear market territory. We also have the NASDAQ that today basically said, bear market? We don't know what that is. right? Like
12%. That is insane.
no. Bullish engulfing, 12%, fill two gaps, go back to where you sold off, right? So literally like back to Thursday or Friday a week ago, right? Last week didn't happen, right? Last week went bye.
I think we're still down though. I think we are still down from all-time high, but yes, last week basically did not happen.
But the thing is like the purple line is your 2024 close. So literally anyone buying now, based on historical moves in the S&P, you're going to make money. If you buy anything below the purple line right now, you're going to make money this year. Because here's the thing. Once you get back up with these moving averages, you birth the new bull. We've seen what happens when you birth the new bull, right? Just to refresh everyone's memory. What happens when you birth the bull? This craziness.
You get that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You get
and that was on everyone being miserable. Like literally, everyone was miserable.
So imagine now that this just occurred. It's gonna be an interesting rest of the week, dude. It really, really
week, month, year, or like the thing is like, what do companies even say in earnings now? Like they're gonna come out and be like, okay, it's like JP Morgan had to rewrite their earnings statement about 16 times now because every single hour something changed. So like I feel bad for Jamie Dimon, but not really, but a little bit because he's literally like debating what he's got 48 hours or 24 hours when you guys are watching this till his earnings speech, or less than it'd be like 12 hours. And the guy has to come up with, okay, so which speech do I need to do because of what events are going on? And I'm like, how long do you think China's going to bang their head against the wall before they just say, we give up?
We're done. We give up. So how are futures doing right now?
Futures are just pumping green.
Really?
Half a percent on S&P, 0.27 on NASDAQ, Dow 0.6, Russell 0.7. Again, the whole world just went bloop. Like even China had a bullish day, right? When they had the retaliatory thing. But the thing is, everyone's downgrading their growth. So they're like, everyone's like, again, the recessionary thing. Again, why did Goldsby come out and say, you might be surprised by GDP? I'm like, I'm like, that comment, Trump, everyone kissing ring. I'm like, and the EU did threaten to retaliate. They never implemented. They said they were, but they did come to the negotiating table like every other country. And I'm just like, even the Canadians, right? We love our Canadians, our Canadian friends. Even though they retaliated through tariffs, Trump's like, I'm not gonna pick a fight with you. I got this guy over here to fight with. And I love how like the important ones like Japan, Korea, like our allies and all that stuff. I'm like that they're coming to the table and they're like, yeah, we're gonna come to the table to negotiate. It's like when you have the problem, right? When the U.S. market. I can't get over this candle. Like I'm probably gonna like remember this day till the day I die. Right? We're gonna be talking about this crazy day till the day we die.
The surviving the 2025 tariff war.
That was literally
5 days.
The bear market literally lasted 3 days. The fastest bear market in history. 3 days. 3 days. Now the Russell probably has a little more, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 days, right? A week, right? The fastest bear market in history. It would be it is officially the fastest bear market in history because I think the previous record was like 3 weeks or something like that. And S&P didn't, like, if you consider the S&P entering the bear market a bear market, right? The fastest 1 hour bear market in history.
Boom. Instant. Yep.
I'm like, I love how China, right, and you guys can see this on Financial Juice, right? So like if you guys ever follow Financial Juice, I love their channel just because they have a lot of like really good aggregation. They've been begging allies to help them, and all the allies are like, wait, you want me to go to the sinking boat? Nope, you're on your own, buddy. Like every ally, everyone,
China.
Yeah, China's been like pressuring the EU, right? And the EU is like,
nope.
No,
No,
we're
but
going
to
over
be
here.
fair though, no. But to be fair, the EU did do that, dude. The EU did like acknowledge and even I believe put in new tariffs for the United States.
But yeah, the EU being a fuddy-dud, as you said, to impose 25% tariff, which is ironic after Trump. It's before Trump's tweet, so we'll see how it turns out, right? They may be like, maybe not.
I personally think that Trump should just be like, you retaliated against us, you will not get the pause. You are going to feel now the full force of the United States. That's just what I would like.
Yeah,
That's just me.
I think he's gonna pick his battles. I think let's focus on China. Let's beat China up a little bit.
The EU is just as bad though. The EU is
Yes,
just
but
as bad.
one at a time, right? Get the deals done and then work your way through it.
I say make an example of both of them. That's just me.
I wouldn't
Again,
mind, right? I wouldn't mind making an example out of the EU just because I don't like them. But yeah,
Right.
I love this other thing about traders are now pricing in 3 rate cuts. So we've gone full circle. We went to 6 and we're back to 3. Went from 0 to 3 to 6 to 3 to now back to 3. It's like we've gone full
it's
circle.
been all over the place. It's
Yep.
been all over the place. But it actually is going to be a really interesting rest of the week, especially today. You guys would have already seen the how inflation CPI would have come in.
Oh, yeah.
And aside from that, again, we are going to be live streaming tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, covering, of course, the inflation numbers.
Yep. So if you guys want to check out the latest 2 videos we did, it's going to be right over here linked on the left, along with the Discord channel. If you guys want to join the awesome community that we have, follow the channel, subscribe, make sure bell notifications are on so you know when the live stream comes out as well, along with videos like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the live stream.